My friends, brothers and sisters, not far from where you're sitting right now, next to the Jewish Museum, 2 young Jews were murdered last year. They died a week before they were meant to fly to Jerusalem for their engagement. They wanted to place the rings on each other's fingers in the Holy Land. Yaron Lishinsky was an Israeli born in Germany. Sarah Milgram was a bright and beautiful Jewish girl from Kansas. She was 26 years old. On her LinkedIn profile, she wrote that she wanted to work for peace and to bring Jews and Arabs closer together. You look at these 2 wonderful young people who had never hurt anyone in their lives, and you ask yourselves what their lives might have looked like. What would have happened if Yaron and Sarah had married and moved to Israel? Would they have become Gadi and Judy? Gadi and Judy Chagi, they too were American citizens. They too loved each other. Their love lasted more than 40 happy years. They lived in Kibbutz Nir Oz. Gadi was a musician and a chef. Judy was a teacher and a poet who worked for peace and to bring Jews and Arabs closer together. On the morning of October 7th, they went out for a walk together and were murdered near the fence of the kibbutz. They were murdered 10,000 kilometers away from Yaron and Sarah, but for exactly the same reason, because they were Jews. The war in Gaza is not the cause of the current wave of anti-Semitism. It is merely the pretext. All those virtue signalers who protest against us tell the cameras that they hate war. If that is so, where were they when 650,000 civilians were murdered in Syria, 10 times more than in Gaza? Where were the kafiyas and the marches? Why did they not storm the streets with the same sanctimonious fury when 800,000 people were slaughtered in Ethiopia? Why did they stay home when the Iranian regime murdered tens of thousands of civilians who were only demanding freedom and women's rights? We need to tell our children, it is not because of something new and terrible that suddenly appeared on TikTok. It is because of something ancient and more terrible that has been chasing us for thousands of years. All of this is true. All of this makes us angry. We are right to be angry. We are right to fight back. But my friends, we are not exempt from the need to recognize our own mistakes as well. Nothing would have happened to our ability to defend ourselves if the government of Israel had said, we are sorry for the deaths of children in war. Children should not die in grown-ups' wars. Our shared struggle for global public opinion for the hearts and minds of the world has been gravely damaged by irresponsible ministers and politicians who used language that is neither Jewish nor moral. Jews do not propose starving innocent people. Jews do not threaten to drop an atomic bomb on civilians. We must choose a different language and a different path, not because of what they will say about us on CNN or at Columbia University, but because we know who we are. Values are not tested when it is easy. Everyone has values when it's easy. They are tested when it is hard and frightening and everyone around you is losing the moral compass. Hamas and Hezbollah and the Iranians want to drag us into the culture of blood and death they spread across the Middle East. We will not let that happen. We will not be like them. We hold fast to the values of freedom, democracy, and human dignity. And that is why they will never defeat us. The idea behind the State of Israel and the idea behind AIPAC is that we are not bystanders in our own lives. We are not victims. We are not frightened Jews waiting for the world to decide our fate. I want to use this opportunity to send a clear message to our enemies. No matter who is in government in Israel, we will always know how to defend ourselves. We will always strike at those who seek to harm us. I say especially to the Iranian regime, we will never allow you to build up a missile threat against our people again. Your terror proxies will never be given a moment's peace, and you will never, never be allowed nuclear weapons. My position is clear. It is time to strike at the foundations of the regime. The people of Israel deserve to live in safety. The people of Iran deserve freedom and a better life. The Middle East deserves a future of peace and prosperity. Israel will stand united. There will be no opposition coalition during war with Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu and I will put aside our differences for the defense of our country, for the defense of our people. All of Israel will unite behind our soldiers and pilots. My friends, as you know, this is an election year in Israel, and it will be a year of change. I am optimistic about the future of Israel and about the future of the Jewish people, not only as a character trait, but as a matter of policy. Pessimists and cynics have never built anything. Only optimists build. The creation of the State of Israel was, before anything else, an act of optimism. 3.5 years after my late father, Joseph Tommy Lapid, was a child in a ghetto where the Nazis tried to kill him, he was already a soldier in the army of a free Jewish state that fought its enemies and defeated them. It doesn't get more optimistic than that. I demand a lot from Israel. I want us to fight for our democracy, even when we are under attack. I want us to fight for peace, even in the midst of war. I want that while we strike our enemies, from Tehran to Damascus, from Beirut to Gaza, we will continue to be a country of culture and science and art and Jewish morality and creative freedom, the startup nation that gave the word fauda and ways. Many years ago, in a famous speech, Elie Wiesel said, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Today, I want to tell you that the opposite of hate is not love. The opposite of hate is building. Hate seeks to destroy. We will answer it by continuing to build our country, to build our bond with the Jewish people, with the strength of our friendship and love that we share with you. We must build a stronger army and a less divided society. Deepen our alliances with the United States on the foundations of our shared values. Rebuild a political horizon that will allow our children to dream of peace once more. We have much to build, and it is an inspiring mission. And we have the best partners in the world to build with you. Thank you so much for being there for us.